have to say that even after Qatar, where he ended up, let's say, last, he took all the positive out of it. He told us, you know, Brad Binder finished second, so I know the potential of the KTM is high. He's a potential winner. So this has been really good to me, and I know now instead of trying to adapt the bike to my riding style, I've got to change my riding style and adapt it to the bike because I trust the bike. The whole weekend he's been fast, pushing quite hard. I think the worst was the qualifying, but we know the potential is here. But I mean, he's okay. He's okay to handle, and for sure he wants to do more, but he understands there will be a time to learn and understand. On Rémi's side, this is a dream, you know. Rémi is a no worries guy. You know of it. You're coming from New Zealand, and it's not far from Australia. Now Rémi is absolutely cool. You know, he's fast on track. He knows there is some job to do, but he's having fun. And I was a bit scared when I was reading the comment of Raoul and after the Moto2 season last year, and I thought it was going to be difficult to handle. But honestly, if you come to the Red Bull hospitality, you will see most of the time, you know, they eat together, they laugh together, they share information. We stay at the same hotel, of course, you know, the whole team, and they were playing together by the pool. So, no, at the moment there is a great atmosphere in the team, and you know, it's only round 2, but I think, you know, the idea, as for any rookies team, is to learn step by step and to improve.
Hervé, thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Simon.
Yeah, thanks very much then, Simon, and to Hervé Poncharal. Some breaking news in here for you. The pit lane is going to open at 15:55 local time. That's 14:55, correction. It's just slightly wrong on that information in our commentary box. So in about 10 minutes' time, we're going to have a quick start procedure, a 15-minute quick start, hoping to get the race underway at 15:10 local time.
Aleix Espargaro isn't entirely sure, is he, in those conditions? Of course, a good start to the season for him just a couple of weeks ago, and the Aprilia team in general. A breakthrough of sorts for them. There's the correct timings for the anticipated start of the race. Apologies for the error on our timing screens, which were giving us a little bit of a fear that we might have to talk for another hour, which of course is not what anybody watching wants. When we'd rather watch motorcycles go on the racetrack. Of course, we'll update you on any changes again to that schedule as we go. But as mentioned, Aprilia, a really good start to the season for them. The closest in time they've ever finished to the race winner, just 2.2 seconds between Aleix Espargaro and race winner Enea Bastianini, justifying the hype that had been put in that new RSGP in pre-season, the new agile RSGP. Although Maverick Vinales found it going a little bit tough, Aleix Espargaro certainly proving that they've made a giant step forward with that Aprilia this year.
So just under 10 minutes away then from the start of the Indonesian Grand Prix, already shortened to 20 laps there. You can see on your screens, that's the new schedule. 3:10 local time, the race will start. There's Miguel Oliveira on the factory KTM. You can just hear there the huge claps of thunder off into the distance. Reigning world champion Fabio Quartararo just trying to get some instruction as the race has been declared wet.
You reckon?
Well, that is no great surprise, is it? As the International Race Teams Associations, that's Danny Aldridge just coming down there, the technical director of IRTA, coming down to have a little chat with world champion Fabio Quartararo. You do wonder whether we will be able to get underway at 3:10 local time, because at the moment from our commentary position it looks like the rain actually starting to get a little bit worse. Pecco Bagnaia having a little pre-race discussion with Jack Miller. As we mentioned, it was a disappointing start for the Ducati Lenovo team in Qatar a couple of weeks ago. Nil point. Bagnaia crashing out from a lowly battle for 9th place, and also unfortunately wiping out Pramac Ducati's Jorge Martin. And Jack Miller, a major malfunction with his electronics. His bike just had no idea where it was around that Qatar circuit, and he had to retire. So the factory Ducati team looking to bounce back, and of course Ducati potentially on course for history today. They've won the last 3 MotoGP races. Were they to make it 4 here today? Well, it would be the first time in their history. Of course, they joined the World Championship back in 2003. There's Rick Crichton, also from IRTA, just keeping Maverick Vinales up to date with the latest information.
As we look at the world champion then, Fabio Quartararo. Yeah, I'm not sure he's entirely keen on getting on his motorcycle and heading out on track in 8 minutes' time. Alex Rins was feeling a little bit unwell earlier in the weekend, although he's slightly happier 2 days on. He spoke to the media on Friday and seemed very, very unwell indeed, but yeah, much happier with life. Although Suzuki, from a motor racing point of view, putting to one side their riders' physical conditions, they've had a disappointing weekend, it has to be said. They showed so much promise in Qatar, only for it to fall slightly flat on race day. Jack Miller giving us a wave. I don't think he'll be too phased with these wet conditions. He's shown in the past just how good he can be in conditions slightly less wet than this, but certainly wet. But yeah, Suzuki just did not deliver in the race in the end. Simon Crafar spoke following the race earlier this weekend. He said he reckons that the extra fuel they perhaps had to carry was something to do with that, of course, with the extra power from the new GSX RR engine. But Joan Mir's had a very poor weekend, due to start this Grand Prix down in 17th position. But we can go down to the pit lane now. Of course, the big story of race day so far is the absence from this Indonesian Grand Prix this afternoon of Marc Marquez, a horrendous accident in warm-up. Let's get an update on the 8-time world champion from his team boss Alberto Puig with Simon.
Alberto, Marc has been incredible this weekend. He almost pulled off something amazing yesterday. I love that he tried. He didn't manage it. But again today, what an incredible big crash. Something like from our day on the two-strokes, you know. I would really like to hear from you for the first time. How is he? And how long do you expect him to be away? But while we have you, also the good work that Pole has been doing, like, towards this race.
Well, you know, it's been quite strange because Marc had these 3 crashes, and we have to try to understand why. Because this crash from today was brutal. And frankly speaking, we need to analyze. You know, they brought here a different tire, and we have to understand everything. And at this moment it's difficult because our rider crashed, and we want to understand. So I don't think I can give you any precise info at this moment, but finally he had a massive crash, and we decided it was not correct under the circumstances after this concussion in the head to bring him to the track. So we all agreed, and that's why he will not race. Regarding Paul, now, you know, everything changed. We have been here always with good weather, and suddenly we have a thunderstorm, so it's like completely new paper. We start from zero, and I think the rain, the wet races are different, and you need a special ability for this. Some guys take more risk, but it's very important to see the real condition of the track, because if it's wet, it's one thing. If it's a river, it's unrideable. And then I mean, I think the guys that are checking the track must decide whether it's safe or not.
One last thing about Pole, looking from the outside, he looks to be working really methodically, like he's having some difficulties, but he seems to be working well. Look, watching from the outside, you know, trying to get there, trying not to make mistakes. I would like to hear from your side how you think he's working.
Yeah, he's trying to do this, as you say. He's trying to stay cool and calm, even in the difficult times. And yeah, this is the target for this year. He knows he has the speed. He knows the bike is better than last year for him. So it's a matter of trying to stay cool when the situation is not easy. This weekend they brought a tire that is not fitting us. It was unexpected. So in the test he was super fast, and in the Grand Prix here he was not so fast. But he's trying to stay calm, but now with this story, it's another page.
Alberto, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Thanks to Repsol Honda team manager Alberto Puig for coming to talk to us there after that horrible crash, which has sidelined Marc Marquez from this Grand Prix. There is further updates then on the bottom of your screens. I'm sure you saw that during Simon's chat with Alberto Puig. These current track conditions at the moment means we have a further delay. We were hoping to have the pit lane open at 14:55 p.m. local time for a 15-minute start procedure, hoping to get the race underway at around 15:10 local time, but that is currently not possible as the BMW safety car and yet more claps of thunder punish our eardrums in our headsets here. We've seen some lightning bolts off into the distance as well at the moment. John Mir, the 2021 MotoGP World Champion, he's looking all pretty relaxed about it, isn't he?
Happiest he's looked all weekend,
Whoa.
isn't it? As you can see, the standing water, that's slightly off the racetrack. That's in between turns, the inside of turns 6 and 7.
You see that through there, Lewis, that even the four wheels of the BMW safety car, it was hitting standing water and starting to aquaplane. So let's hope and pray that we get some kind of break in this torrential rain, which at the moment has forced the delayed start of our first Indonesian Grand Prix in 25 years. We've waited so long. The Indonesian fans have waited so long for this moment. And unfortunately, the weather not playing ball right now. Of course, we're in a tropical climate, tropical part of the world. We can have weather conditions like this, but to fall, what, just 40 minutes away from the scheduled start of the MotoGP race. It feels so sorry for the fans. They've come out in their droves. Yeah, that's what you need, isn't it? You need flippers and a snorkel for Mandalika right now.
Fabio Quartararo set to start this Grand Prix from pole position. We saw a shot moments ago of Marco Bezzecchi, who's due to start from 13th on the grid. What a good weekend he's been having, although his qualifying session perhaps didn't end as he'd intended, of course, with the crash in Q1, when he was certainly fancying his chances of getting through into the top 12. I think he's impressed us all right throughout his short fledgling MotoGP career so far. He was generally the fastest rookie in pre-season testing. He was leading the rookie challenge by quite some margin in Qatar before crashing out of that Grand Prix. And then, of course, right throughout the weekend, he's looked pretty good. In FP4, of course, he was fastest for a lot of that session before being pipped in the end by Franco Morbidelli, and a crash in Q1 denied him the chance to compete in the top 12. But he's certainly a rider who's shown in the past that he's got a level of wet weather ability, and he's shown over the course of his MotoGP career, of course, just how much talent he's got.
Let's quickly pop down for some